Braille uses a 6-dot matrix. It just looks like the 6 dots of a dice. It's a neat size that fits conveniently under the fingertip, and so it's a convenient size to actually read. All the letters of the alphabet and everything else we use are made up from combinations of those 6-dot matrices. Braille music was also devised by Louis Braille, and he did it in a linear and a literary way rather than using a sort of graphic score as print music would. What he decided to do, being French, Louis Braille would have thought in terms of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, as in the song Do Dear. In French, do is always the note C. And so it made sense to Louis Braille to use a D for do, and then to carry on up the scale using the next letters of the alphabet, so E, F, G, H, I, and J. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti correspond to those letters of the alphabet, which confuses English students no end because, of course, then the note B corresponds to the letter J, and we have to stop thinking like that and treat it as a separate bit of coding. It happens that in Braille, those 7 letters only use the top 4 dots of the cell, which is convenient because then those can be used to form quavers, the little notes that you see joined together with a little hook in print music. And that meant that the bottom 2 dots of the cell can be used to produce notes of other lengths. So, for example, anything with the bottom right-hand dot added is a crotchet, which is the notes that are filled in with the straight sticks. And anything that uses the bottom left-hand dot of the cell added creates minims, which is the notes with straight sticks that are not coloured in. So if you add both bottom dots, you get semibreves, which I think look a bit like potatoes and last for 4 beats. All so far so good. Then you've run out of possible options in Braille because there are no more combinations. So they double up, and semibreves are also semiquavers. And Louis Braille hoped his students were sensible enough to know that you can't have 16 semiquavers in a 4/4 bar. So they must be semiquavers. And likewise, smaller ones, demi-semiquavers, that get more and more tails in print, they look like minims. And if you're unfortunate enough to get hemi-demi-semiquavers, it's time to stop and have coffee. They look like crotchets, but mercifully we don't get too many. So that's how rhythm works. So all fairly simple so far. The thing is that there's no clef necessary because Braille is not written on a 5-line stave. And the reason for that is because when you're reading, you don't want to be going up and down like that because you struggle to find your next note. So Braille actually reads exactly like it would if it was a piece of literature, straight along the line and then down to the next line and then down to the next line and so on. So it is a linear, not a graphic system. So the pitch of your C or D or E, your do, re, mi, is denoted by a system of octave signs relating to the piano. So middle C is your 4th octave up from the base of the piano, and 5th octave, 6th octave, and 7th, and so forth. So in addition to all of that, of course, music has expression, and it has loud, and it has soft, and it has things that say poco a poco crescendo and tempo 1, and all those sort of added things that tell you not just what to play, but how the composer would like it played. And Braille has signs and symbols for all of those things. And that quite often comes before the note, because obviously if you've already played the note and then you read that it was loud, it's too late. So before you actually see any of your notes, you get lots of stuff. Let me see if I can find the beginning of a piece. So here we have Danse des Cygnes by Tchaikovsky, the Dance of the Cygnets. And across the top here, I think I have a thing that says Allegro moderato, 3 sharps and common time. And then I've got some useful information, line 1, bar 1, which it gives me the line and bar number equivalent of the print score. Great in rehearsal because suddenly somebody will say, okay, we're going from bar 33, which is 31, 32, there, all the way down that page there. And I'll need that in rehearsal because we don't always start at the beginning. And my computer brain isn't big enough to compute where bar 33 is without looking at it. Bar 1, however, starts up here, and before I have anything, there's a thing that says you've got 5 bars rest, which is very important to know if you're playing in an ensemble. Then I have a quaver rest and a staccato mark, because it wants the first note played staccato, i.e. detached from the others. Dot, 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 dot. So those would be the little dots that you would see above the note in your print copy. Then I have an octave sign and a set of A's. Okay, so that's so far so good. Let's see, what else have we got in here? We have got Sanson, fossils. Let's see if we can find any dynamic markings in here. Just scanning along. There's a rehearsal letter. Great stuff. Rehearsals letters are useful because quite often in a rehearsal you'll say, we're going from 5 bars after C. Well, at figure C, which is here, I've got 4 bars rest. So that means I'm going to start there. And here I have a minim rest and a thing that says fortissimo. So I know before I start to play that it's got to be loud. The only problem is that occasionally some of that stuff can disrupt the flow when you're reading and trying to find stuff. You find that the middle of the bar, it suddenly says poco ral, which means slow down a little bit. And then suddenly you've got to read half a line of instructions before you actually get to your next note. So there are sometimes pitfalls to this system.